Commentary of St. Augustine on Psalm 5, third and last part. Judge them, O God, let them fall from their own thoughts. Verse 10. It is a prophecy, not a curse, for he does not wish that it should come to pass, but he perceives what will come to pass. For this happens to them not because he appears to have wished for it, but because they are such as to deserve that it should happen. For so also what he says afterwards, let all that hope in you rejoice, he says, by way of prophecy, since he perceives that they will rejoice. Likewise it is said prophetically, stir up your strength and come, for he saw that he would come. Although the words, let them fall from their own thoughts, may be taken thus also, that it may rather be believed to be a wish for their good by the psalmist, while they fall from their evil thoughts, that is, that they may no more think evil. But what follows, drive them out, forbids this interpretation, for it can in no wise be taken in a favorable sense that one is driven out by God. Wherefore it is understood to be said prophetically and not of ill will, when this is said, which must necessarily happen to such as chose to persevere in those sins which have been mentioned. Let them therefore fall from their own thoughts is, let them fall by their self-accusing thoughts, their own conscience also bearing witness, as the Apostle says, and their thoughts accusing or excusing in the revelation of the just judgment of God. Romans 2:15, 16. According to the multitude of their ungodlinesses, drive them out, that is, drive them out far away. For this is according to the multitude of their ungodlinesses. For they should be driven out far away. The ungodly then are driven out from that inheritance which is possessed by knowing and seeing God, as diseased eyes are driven out from the shining of the light, when what is gladness to others is pain to them. Therefore these shall not stand in the morning and see. And that expression is as great a punishment as that which is said, but for me it is good to cleave to the Lord, is a great reward. To this punishment is opposed, enter thou into the joy of your Lord. Matthew 25:21. For similar to this expulsion is, cast him into outer darkness. Matthew chapter 25, verse 30. Since they have embittered you, O Lord, I am, says he, the bread which came down from heaven. John 6:51. Again, labor for the meat which was not. John 6:27. Again, taste and see that the Lord is sweet. But to sinners the bread of truth is bitter, whence they hate the mouth of him that speaks the truth. These then have embittered God, who by sin have fallen into such a state of sickliness, that the food of truth, in which healthy souls delight, as if it were bitter as gall, they can't bear. And let all rejoice that hope in you, those of course to whose taste the Lord is sweet. They will exalt for evermore, and you will dwell in them. Verse 11. This will be the exaltation for evermore, when the just become the temple of God, and he, their indweller, will be their joy. And all that love your name shall glory in you, as when what they love is present for them to enjoy. And well is it said, in you, as if in possession of the inheritance of which the title of the song speaks, when they too are his inheritance, which is intimated by, you will dwell in them, from which good they are kept back, whom God, according to the multitude of their ungodlinesses, drives out. For you will bless the just man. Verse 12. This is blessing, to glory in God and to be inhabited by God. Such sanctification is given to the just, but that they may be justified, a calling goes before, which is not of merit but of the grace of God. For all have sinned and want the glory of God. Romans 3:23. For whom he called, them he also justified, and whom he justified, them he also glorified. Romans 8:30. Since then calling is not of our merit, but of the goodness and mercy of God, he went on to say, O Lord, as with the shield of your goodwill you have crowned us. For God's goodwill goes before our goodwill, to call sinners to repentance. And these are the arms whereby the enemy is overcome, against whom it is said, who will bring accusation against God's elect? Again, if God be for us, who can be against us? Who spared not his only Son, but delivered him up for us all. For if when we were enemies Christ died for us, much more being reconciled shall we be saved from wrath through him. Romans 5:10. This is that unconquerable shield whereby the enemy is driven back when he suggests despair of our salvation through the multitude of tribulation and temptations. The whole contents of the psalm then are a prayer that she may be heard from the words, Hear my words, O Lord, unto my King and my God. Then follows a view of those things which hinder the sight of God, that is a knowledge that she is heard from the words, Because I shall pray unto you, O Lord, in the morning you will hear my voice, unto the man of blood and the crafty man the Lord will abominate. Thirdly, she hopes that she who is to be the house of God even now begins to draw near to him in fear, because that perfection which casts out fear from the words, But I, in the multitude of your mercy, unto I will worship at your holy temple in your fear. Fourthly, as she is progressing and advancing amongst those very things which she feels to hinder her, she prays that she may be assisted within, where no man sees, lest she be turned aside by evil tongues, for the words, O Lord, lead me forth in your justice because of my enemies, and to, with their tongues they dealt craftily. Fifthly, is a prophecy of what punishment awaits the ungodly when the just man shall scarcely be saved, and of what reward the just shall obtain, who, when they were called, came and bore all things manfully, till they were brought to the end from the words, Judge them, O God, and to the end of the psalm.